Hello, this is Jer, playing the lab, which is a strange asteroid in the latest update with Klei Fest and quality of life. So I've got a lot of tilt-up rooms and very long space access at the top here. But let's see what I've been up to. In the last episode, main thing is I'm starting to receive cool liquid thanks to cool geysers from the other world that's being stored here. You can see I'm going to store in some process to do temperature exchanges so it can keep the base cool. But that's also going to be future oxygen because I like to have my water, or if not water, polluted water in brine because we can treat that. The other change I made was a little mistake over here, but I've got better rooms. Oh, you need to go. I guess I have a full layer of bislight. Maybe there's something at the door. It could have snuck in possibly when I was doing construction. I believe this insulation is going to keep any more from getting out, or in, rather. But yeah, ignore this whole thing. I have a spot for 3 different types of hatches: regular, stage, and smooth. And I'm only keeping my smooth hatches until I get the down the hatch achievement. Be walking away from those at some point. So what do I have planned for today? I see natural gas is out. So I'm going to start producing that probably with the production of fertilizer. So that's one thing. See, someone is stressed out. Engineer, that's probably going to be a quick thing to fix. So we'll look at that. But I think the primary thing is right here. Look at this. The fridge is full, 170,000 calories. Food's going to go bad unless we get a deep freezer. I'm going to relocate the fridge, or well, we won't have a fridge, it'll be deep freezer. But I'm going to relocate the kitchen to a new area. We're going to put in a deep freezer so food will never go bad. And that's going to be, I think, the highlight for today. The other bit is I have solid carbon dioxide being dropped off here from the other world thanks to this teleportation equipment that's been expanding. So 15 kilograms, that's been solidifying or turning to gas rather, and I'll pump there so I have access to more carbon dioxide. And finally, I'd like to do build in this area to do some heat transfer. So that's my plan, though I'm playing oxygen not included, so the chance of having to pivot and have to do something completely different is very possible. I will see how this goes. Let's get started. Let's start with that stressed out dupe. It's engineer that's stressed, and I think the easiest thing, if I identify their bed, so this is rancher, miner, engineer. Okay, if I, on the left side of their bed, put carpeted tiles, like that, out of granite, why not? Verify that is engineer. They're going to get, I think it's called twinkle toes, and that's going to give them a little bit of stress relief while they're there. Looking at the reed fiber, it's a little bit low, so maybe that'll be the first thing I try to work on in this base. So over this area, just after where the atmo suits are, we're digging down here. I have a door here because I have heavy, let's see, 25 kilograms of fluid oxygen. That's just going to explode out the base. So I did put some deodorizers here, but I also have this mechanized airlock. Drop some polluted water just to prevent slime lung from getting everywhere. So that's just preventing the slime from emitting, because it can't emit when it sits in liquid. Actually, I will turn you off. I want to make sure I dig down here first, otherwise I may end up with an issue. But this is where I'm going to get access to polluted water to grow some of these guys over here. We've got a wild plant, but I'm going to actually put some in planter boxes. Thimbleweed seed. Yeah, I guess I don't need planter boxes, but I guess the hydroponic version. A little bit of slime with slime lung, included oxygen. Not what you want. Fortunately, this liquid just decided to dry up on this particular tile. So that's causing a little bit of a mess, but if we contain this early enough, don't think this will be too much of an issue. But the dupes, you've got to move. So my plan was to eliminate the polluted water, or at least block it off, so that I don't get any more polluted oxygen in this zone. And then let these deodorizers convert everything to oxygen so that it kills off slime lung. But it looks like that has happened so quick I don't even have to block that off. Because the last thing I wanted to do is dig into this area and get slime lung and 24 kilogram polluted oxygen. But now that I'm certain that there is no slime lung, we all see that there is no slime lung, right game? I can now dig down into here. And what I'm going to do is get a ladder that goes all the way down, and we will build a pump, and that will be the input to grow in some of these guys, symbol reeds. So I have printed some ice and just indicated to the dupes that I want to drop it down here, and I just realized that you can increase the priority of where that's being dropped. So I made that a really high priority thing of getting ice out of this zone. It's not going to melt anytime soon, but when it does melt, you can see there are water bottles from the spill from the last ice that has melted. So let's get that out of the way, dupes. So I've got this new cooling line that's going to visit this area to take in additional cooling. All I need to do is snap this and make a connection right here and here. And then that liquid will be going down, visiting this cool area in addition to down there, bringing it in. And this whole section only dips down and goes in here when this indicates that the water is in need of actual cooling. So while the dupes are working on this, and let's verify, got no slime lung. Let's look at the temperature of the base. It's starting to look a little bit more green in places than it was before. So that is a good thing. This little power room here is not going down. So what I might put in some radiant pipes. Oh! Maybe it's not an issue with the radiant pipes. Let's try actually having my plan of having this go around. Whoops. Glad I checked on this then. Yeah, we'll have this this coolant go through this area and see if that takes the temperature down of the power plant. So I want to produce more clay, but no one's loading it into these or these guys because this is a low priority 4. So I'm upping the priority of clay storage temporarily. Just going to wait around and wait for more dupes to put in. They're getting soggy feet on the way in. I think a simple ladder here should prevent, oh no, not just that, but maybe mopping up there. That's going again, so more mopping up. And a rover. I guess we can get the resources back from that. So the Klei is operating once more. That'll be a little bit more. Is it, what priority here? That's 5. Okay, so we're actually behind, or we actually need more tasks for the dupes once they load this up. Slime lung in there, but it didn't last long. This cold area, slime lung won't last that long anyways. Is that another rover? It's funny, they always seem to die at the same locations. There's a few locations rovers always seem to go to expire. Maybe it's just coincidence. But, yeah. So that's going to give us more ceramic in the future. Let's turn that back off for now. Go back and do some other things. So we are now growing 2 pieces of thimble reed. It's already at 10%. They grow really quickly. Nice that this door is here because I know there's some critters that would love to chomp on them, and I don't want to see that happen. I'd rather just grow it and get make sure they're harvested. Well, they should be because they're in actual hydroponic farm tiles. 2 dupes need something to do. So I've been optimizing this space a little bit. Instructing the dupes to drop materials here. So let's make this not usable by the dupes and drop. That'll pick up everything. So anything that sees, we'll send over to the other world. And if I tell dupes to drop material here, things that we're looking for, I think I have to go check to see if I actually want more carbon dioxide. Maybe I don't, but I want probably more in metal. I've got cobalt here. Maybe there's some aluminum left. Let's choose some metals that I want to have sent back to the homeworld. I think there's even some iron. We'll start with that. Make sure that's just a level 5. But if they've got nothing else to do, they're going to be sending metal over here. Now, the only issue is they may kind of go in an infinite loop while this guy catches up. Let me have a think. Maybe that's... Cancel. Let's have a rethink about this. So we have a lot of carbon dioxide, which I'm excited about. The pressure is very high, such that it's actually pushing all the way down, going towards my base. I think we need to switch. Where are you going? We're going to go into that zone to do what? Pick up. What are they doing? They're picking up. Okay, whatever is the case, let's stop that from happening. I don't want you going there. How do I do this? There's not a door right now. How do I tell you just don't do that and make this a high priority? Build that thing really quick. Someone change this to ammo suits. And I don't want the dupes going here. So I'm just going to have to stand here and just keep redirecting dupes until this thing gets built. So creating this liquid airlock that's enough water. Built this manual airlock that was probably the better choice to build. We got some ammo suits, so the dupes are going to be able to go comfortably in this high pressure carbon dioxide. Because I want to get at that carbon dioxide access as well. Be able to get access to anything that's dropped off here. I've got some metal. Let's go look at that. So telling the dupes, I want them to store some cobalt here because I don't want to transfer all the metal. But I've got this set up. This guy here is now picking up stuff that the dupes cannot access. Anything that's thrown right there, the dupes will not get. So if I click on this, and I won't do cobalt for now, but let's just do iron and aluminum. They can start the process of dropping it there. They won't put it in an infinite loop, and this guy can send it over to the homeworld. See some damage over here. I thought to myself, why not, instead of doing this, this out of Malfric rock, just give it this protection on this side. In fact, actually, why don't we come in a little bit further? And then if we kind of have this sort of deal, a little bit of mining to do, but yeah, I think that is going to give us a little bit more protection than fully exposed ladder like it is here. Let's cancel that section of the build. So I have a pump right here. It's got plenty of carbon dioxide. And that is sending that towards the rocket so I can get more of these rovers helping out. Might have to eventually also dig down in this area. I'll probably have to change the location of that. But for now, it's quite thick carbon dioxide all around. Colony achievement just popped up and I'm guessing it might be down the hatch because I've been watching that closely. Also watching my copper almost vanish. Less than a ton. Please be. Down the hatch produced 10 tons of refined metal by ranching smooth hatches. Whew. So right now let's stop feeding you guys. These guys are difficult to... Furthermore, oh yeah, let's use this tool. Select my copper ore. Move to just where you can't reach. Up that priority. Not that there's a whole lot to be saved. The copper ore. So that's going to mean that I'm not going to get food from you guys long term. Because they'll be starving. I'll let you in. Let's get rid of you. You'll just cause all kinds of chaos in my base, I'm sure. But yeah, there is the down the hatch achievement. Done. Question whether I should have actually concentrated on this, because that has been putting a drain on my copper. It has also, though, produced a lot of... it's been a drain on my copper ore. It's been producing copper, though. So it's not all bad. It's getting a little bit of meat in the process. But anyway, there's that achievement done. So now that I had a shortage of copper and having to switch to other types of metal ore, built this out of iron ore. But I want to see this process because I want to know exactly how much metal I'm losing every time I build a robot. So it is supplying 500 kilograms of iron ore. When I destroy the robot, I'm getting 100 back, so that's 400. I don't know how much I get back from the rover, but we'll find out here in a second. So I'm sending a rover back on my home world. Rocket's going back. I get whoa, I get all of it, so I get 400 back from the rover lander and 100, so I'm not actually using metal. This is just free labor. As long as you have carbon dioxide. I assumed you were definitely going to be losing something there. Well, that's exciting. I'll be getting definitely more of you, so instead of building them out of copper ore, we're just going to be building out of iron. Rovers haven't been able to get down to the base and piling them up, just getting them to do some digging out here. Finally, we've got a path for them to make their way onto the base to help us out. Let's say goodbye to some of this here. I think I solved a mystery of how one of these guys got into my base. So I didn't think they could go through insulation, but I realized I built this here a while ago to drop off an egg. One of their eggs had been printed, and I forget to actually bring that over. That's why I had one of them inside my base. So the dupes are working on a new area here. This is going to be my deep freezer. Well, where I'll be able to store an infinite amount of food forever at this location. This is the new kitchen that's going to be operational once the deep freezer is online. So filling water inside this deep freezer, or this, actually this is the flash freezing area, this is the deep freezer. Almost got the maximum amount. Let's say that's enough. Let's wait for 900. There we are. I can disable liquid from going in there anymore. It's going to be one of the key things because this is going to be taking the temperature of this big ice block. But when I say ice block, I really mean granite block. That's going to a temperature gauge that's going to be sitting here. Is going to indicate to this whether it's going to run or not. Let hydrogen out in this area. I get a similar thing. This is going to be in gaseous area, so this I don't need the liquid. But this is going to be looking to see if hydrogen needs to be sent over here for cooling. So the idea is this is the flash freezing area. This will be really cold. So I've got this conveyor line that's going to be taking both my ingredients and food, flash freezing it as it goes through this, and then dropping it off here. This is a little bit of a warmer area, still like minus, still negative, freezing temperatures. Of course, we want that, but that's essentially what this is going to do. So one of these gas shutoffs to actually enable cooling, and that's going to be with thermoregulator. Make that out of steel just to be safe. And of course, we're gonna want to have ceramic. This is going to be the input. This will be the output. It'll just look like that. Starting to see the granite block form here. I'm beginning to load hydrogen into this system. Actually, temporarily disable this guy. Make sure not to forget that when I seal this up. So adding in insulation, because this is going to be super cold. I don't want that to go into the base. Things are critical oxygen-wise over in this base. So I'm going to get these dupes to build an oxygen. Actually, let's make it hold on. I was going to send algae from the other world over here, because there is no algae here, but I could produce that. I forgot. I do have water. Why wouldn't I just make an electrolyzer? Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. Making this choice between, do I send one of them back while oxygen is bad, or will I be able to make this electrolyzer pretty quick? I think I can keep them here. So I've got electrolyzer. Oh, it doesn't have power yet. Oops. I'll connect that up. But I brought algae over. So hopefully one of them is going to put some algae from here into here. We'll improve this oxygen situation very soon. One more wire, dupes. Come on, you can do it. There we are. A little bit more oxygen so that these dupes aren't lost. It is cycle 150. And just putting in the insulation layer that's made out of ceramic. It's going to help the coolness not go into my base. And also prevent the warmness from going into my deep freezer area over here. I think I can now change this out for some insulation tiles as well. Okay, let's not mess this up. Get some of those shovel eggs. I'm gonna mark everything temporarily to be swept. And then we're gonna go over here and say sweep only critter eggs. And I want to make sure I get the right egg. This is one. Let's bring that at high priority. Dupes or rovers. See, this kind of underpins all the cooling for this area. But I need to keep this machine itself cool, so the coolant line that goes all around my base is going to visit this in a radiant pipe. Actually, why don't we go extend this a little bit further and bring that into the tiling as well. Sort of like making this out of lead, because I've got plenty of lead, sort of like that. I should keep this thing cool. It says it's not connected. I thought I connected that. Ah, no, I see. Now I want to store my food in a carbon dioxide area, so that's why I pumped my lots of carbon dioxide that I've gotten from the other worlds over to here. Cooling line is now heading towards this for some maintenance of temperature, because this is going to get pretty warm without that. Let's look at the overall temperature of the base. Oh, wow. It is looking much more green. Yeah. Temperature management. How much coolness do we still have down in this area? Down here, we're in freezing temperatures. Up here, not so much, but in the green. Just about to activate this system. So what I've done is I've set this to be really cold temperature. If it's not really cold, we're sending hydrogen through here. And when it gets really cold, that's going to be shutting that system off. So this is going to create really cold temperatures over time. So anything that goes through this, such as ingredients, meat, or anything that's cooked, is going to be super cold by the time it gets out here. Over in this zone, let's do this at try minus 20. If it's above that, so if it's not freezing cold, or if it's not cold rather, then also run this hydrogen line over here. So I've got sort of I've got infinite loop that goes around and around in the center all the time. When this big block needs to be cooled, then I send it through here for some cooling. When this tiny little area where the actual food is being stored right here is starting to warm up just a little bit, but I don't want this area to be super cold, not as cold as this, it will send the hydrogen over here. Then I have the food that's going to be accessible right here from this auto sweeper, and then I've got my 2 cooking apparatus set to go. So temperatures will start to come down, and we'll make that active when it actually is cold enough. Many times I'm making this kind of a habit at the start of every cycle to send up a rocket, Beginning of everyday scientist is doing that for us. And then deploying a rover, usually always going to the same spot, just about here, so that I can get more hands helping me build up the base. Just make sure that I return the iron ore by destroying the rover lander. Built a fertilizer synthesizer that is producing fertilizer, which is actually great for my farms, but in addition to that, I'm also, hold on, just realized my room size is wrong. Why is it that, oh, okay, I should probably put a door here. I know, okay, I know what we can do. This is fixable. This is fixable. I'm just going to take a tile away. I'm going to put a door underneath. But yeah, this is creating natural gas. And starting to emit. I've got this automation. This is basically looking for not oxygen. If that's the case for a certain amount of time through this filter, it's going to send that in. This gas pump is going to be enabled. That will then pump that natural gas over here, doing some basic filtering. So if it's not natural gas, it's going to go out over here. And this is going to make its way to my gas range. Locate it right here. Maybe I'll even put some automation to say this thing gets filled up. Maybe turn the pump off. Oh, I need an and. If I want to do that, put that in later. It's just doing that. Spending a little bit of time bringing resources back. Storing lead here. That is going to be useful. A lot of that lead, I'll actually start mining out more of that. Let's dig this orchard plant out while we're around here too. And then the other thing that I'm doing, oh yeah, we got to get cooling on this machinery. But I'm bringing cobalt up here, and that is being brought over from the other world in the teleporter, which is located way down here. My dupes and rovers are upgrading this to a conductive wire for this circuitry. This is going to be the first conductive wire circuit. It's going to feed 2 of these. Now I have 2 running, but ultimately I'm probably only going to need 1. This is just for the initial cooldown of this block. Let's look at this. It is getting cool. Anything stored here is still not at freezing temperatures, but this just needs to run a little bit longer. So this cool slush geyser is emitting again. I still have polluted water from the last time it started emitting things. Oh, you know, we should put a block here for the future, but that's not going to be a problem for a little while. I thought for sure this was going to be drained, and that's why I went over the other asteroid in a rush to bring this in, so that maybe that wasn't necessary, though it is providing nice cooling, and it is just a nice security blanket to have, because I'm going to eventually need this. But very happy to see this is bringing in more cold, polluted water. One of the tricky things about upgrading circuitry is missing all the old wiring that's attached. It's just making a conceited effort to go all around my circuit and find out any connections that may exist. But I think everything looks good, including the crossovers or the bridges. That is now looking good, so I'm going to now just hold on. Actually, just give the dupes just a second or two to snap a few of these. Just one here. Okay, now let's go over and connect this thing. Apparently, we got to wait for the cycle to start. Okay, so this is the first conductive circuit going on. Gonna find power, conductive wire. Let's bring this in. We use our handy snapping tool. Oh, I just realized I didn't bring heavy wire in here and here, but that'll be online shortly. So changing the location for this pump to be a little bit deeper here. It's made out of steel. Using my new conductive wire line to get in here. I'm going to be pumping oil. So we can be in the business of producing plastic again, because I haven't been doing that in a while. And enjoying the fact that the rovers can go in and out of here without the need of Atmo suits. So I think I discovered another change in the game. This one I'm not a super fan of, but I normally dig these guys out, orchard plants, from the corner. So a dupe would stand here, and they would do that, but they can't do that anymore. Which means I have to go in this area. I don't think this case it's going to be a big deal for me just to dig this out, because this isn't going to come to life. It's just going to fall down here. Thinking of pips, though. I don't want pips to come in here and plant that thing, so let's block this whole area off the pips. Because that, I've been burned by that before. Alright, so actually Rover is on the case. They can't directly dig things, but actually, is it the fact? Oh no, there were Atmo suits. I was like, because if the Atmo suits weren't available, that would explain why I couldn't get down here. Is there any other orchard plants? Let's do this test again. I should, I'm hoping, be able to dig you out. So now I've got a pump available down here, and that's pumping crude oil short distance to my refinery. And the rovers will be able to do this, but a dupe is going to convert that to petroleum. That's going to go and make plastic. So I just realized my egg selection process is bringing over smooth hatch eggs, but actually don't intend to need those anymore. So what I'm going to do is just let them drop and then sweep them back. But I've disabled that from happening again. Alright, so while I do that, the dupes are making a giant conveyor line. One is, here's the actual place where meat is being created. So I want meat to be picked up right away and be driven, frozen actually, and then sent to the storage area where it'll be cooked in this electric grill. But the other thing is I'm going to be building this conveyor line going to my two farms. This is my sleet wheat farm. This is my waterweed farm where lettuce is made. So all that will automatically be dropped. And this is an important fact because I don't want to have a fridge here. So it won't be a process where I can only store so much. I want to have an infinite amount of both ingredients and cooked food. And when the food is cooked, it'll be picked up by this guy and sent in here first to be flash frozen and then stored over here. How are we doing temperature wise? We're getting close to the freezing temperature of this block, so not quite where we want to be. We need more power. Whoa, what's happening with power? Are we out of hydrogen? Oh, okay, power issues. That's got to be something we've got to address soon. Trying to get every achievement in this game, including the super sustainable achievement. Is there any chance I already have it? I don't think so. But how close am I? Super sustainable. Oh, so far away. So I can't burn coal or natural gas. And that's a shame, because this geyser has turned off. Now this is really good for the gas range, but I've got another source for natural gas. Well, welcome to low power mode. I just made this nice circuitry so I can produce plastic, but we're gonna go and disable some of these machines. Actually, hold on. Instead of doing this, just save a little bit of time and snap some wires. Oh, maybe I don't want us. Let's snap the pump. And is there any... Yeah, let's disable that. So we're starting to shut down some stuff. These guys are sadly being shut down. Rover, need to get that iron back. We need to find a solution to power, and I think that's going to be either solar or steam. I terrified of building solar panels up here because I'm on Doomsday with my, in terms of my asteroids or meteor showers. So I think I have to find a place to get power from steam. But that's going to be the next episode. We've made good progress. We've got this deep freezing and flash freezing area. It hasn't actually started to be used and actually cooled down enough, but we need to find our power source before that. Dug out a little bit more in here to get some lead and crude oil, even though I'm not actually going to be able to use that for the next little bit. Damn you, super sustainable achievement. But we did get one of the achievements, the down the hatch, so that is a thing. And what else did we do? We got a lot of metal from the other world, and I'm beginning the dupes to store that in these containers. Oh, another one of you guys down. And I've been sending a lot of rovers out, so when I come back and continue on this, I should be able to use my army of rovers that are just going around to help me build this steam turbine. And I've got two locations, I'm thinking. First location is here. This is one option I'll consider. I'll sleep on that one. Or the other option is way over here. But this is a little bit, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. So I might not do that. Plus I would have to run heavy watt wire a much longer distance. So anyway, hopefully I will you will join me for the next episode while I make some power, or more power, and continue on with this very strange asteroid. Till then.